Hello and welcome everyone. Hope everyone can hear me or we witnessed one of the first points of this game. Let me just confirm who was behind that point of this game, which is Out from Ireland again, Oxley Ultimate from Poland, of course. It looks like Ox were the first ones to score, and the pelt is going to pick up, and it looks like the brick is going to be called. Quickest movement in the handler's face. Now finally advancing and moving it back in. Unfortunate drop, and looks like there's going to be a quick counter attack. This is going to pick up a fake and a swing. Now an advancing pass. Getting really close to that end zone, but not just yet. Very nice ball, but that was taken away. And finally, not finally rather, but the disc is moving back quickly. Oh no, it looks like I have been mistaken. We are definitely not witnessing Alt X3. This is definitely Tartu Ultimate. I do see the familiar faces of Helen Terra, Jakob Tam, and Paolo. Few very familiar faces as I've been playing in the Baltics for a while. So that is not Oxley and Pelt. That is Malmö Ultimate Club against Tartu Turbulence. Yes, I was noticing that some of the logos on the shirts were not the ones that I was expected to see by Pelt and Oxley. And apologies for the sound quality. I'm going to check it now, which should make it a lot better, and I hope it is much better now. And we see Tartu scoring a point. So it is now 1-1. They managed to hold after that unfortunate drop and a turnover, where the first point actually went to Malmö, where Nina Westling scored to Otto Edgren.
Are you marking like? Sorry? Can you edit them? Can I, like, do you have to mark it here right now, or can I go to the other side? Yeah, let's do that.
long shot by Malmö, but unfortunately it was a little bit too long and the receiver there could not get that disc back. I hope that the sound quality has improved on my side. Apologies for that. A few technical snags. And yes, now we're getting some of our facts straight. It is, in fact, Malmö Ultimate against Tartu Turbulence, where Tartu are going to, no, not just yet. They are going to generate a turnover and give the disc back to Malmö. But that disc, oh, that was a good disc, I think. It was a little bit too fast, a little bit too long, but unfortunately for Laura Lepic, that was it was a little bit too far out of her reach. Malmö now, War can get this back. And a long shot, another one. This time on the Malmö side. And is it gonna stay in? Ooh, very close. Looks like there's gonna be a discussion. Andre is signaling that the disc was out. Hmm. Judging by the replay, I don't know. You tell me. What do you think about that? Looked close. In my perspective, that was more in than out. But the perspective is also given by other players on the field. Always good to have additional perspectives, but there are too many people that are coming in, and looks like it's going to be contested, which is fair enough. Some players seemingly were signaling to maybe have a look at the replay, which I assume is available as well on the field. We are, of course, at the privilege of moving the stream back and forth, so we can actually figure out if we can see it or not. But the disc is sent back, so Malmö is going to work it once again, almost the full length of the field, as that shot was basically almost zone-to-zone shot. Send another long shot to the end zone. Not just yet. Moving it pretty effectively. And another long throw, and this one is sailing out of bounds, out of reach. No possibility to get it, unfortunately, for the Malmö player on the far side of the pitch. And the disc is brought back in. Very quick advancing pass to Lauritz, who is swinging it to Andre. Another swing, and now an advancing pass to Punab. Punab to Andre. Andre surveying her options. Is she going to send it long? No, sent it unfortunate end of the defender, Edgren, with that defense there. And the Swedish side is going to pick up the disc and send it long once again. I mean, it kind of worked for that, almost worked for them, but this time that was taken away by the defender. whose number I unfortunately don't have on my roster. Looks like I can't really make out the name on the shirt. All right, as we're settling into this game, I can tell you a little bit more about the trip to qualify of the both teams. As of course, we're watching the summer tour, and the teams are playing, of course, the summer tour. Last stop before the top 16, including the wild cards, are going to get decided, and we will know who is going to play the finals, and the opportunity to win the title of the European Ultimate Club Championships of 2024. Currently, as it stands, in the mixed division, Tartu Turbulence are sitting at 12, so they are actually quite safe for themselves. Of course, everything can change during this tournament, but they are finding themselves in a fairly comfortable position actually to qualify for the finals. They are okay in terms of the qualified games. They have 6, and they will have guaranteed 6 during this event. While Malmö are sitting at 24th. They also have 6 games, and they will have 6 more at this event, so the number of qualifying games is not going to be a problem. However, their rating might be. Whoa, great sky, but lots of contact onto that disc, and the Tartu player did look a little bit uncomfortable through that contact, while Malmö actually came down with the disc. Number 30, Alstom. And this time, oh, not quite in. Carbon finally finds Edbrun in the end zone for the score. So that is Malmö 2, Tartu 1. That was a very long point. That was definitely a long point for both of the teams. I'm sure that the fresh lines are going to get on. Yeah, that point lasted almost 30 minutes. So, as I was saying, yes, Malmö and Tartu, and if you use the matchup tool, which is an exciting new feature of the ranking system, Tartu versus Malmö. We're going to get a result of 15-12 in favor of Tartu. However, as you see with that defense, it's not going to be easy against Malmö, that is for sure. They are here to fight, and that expected score is only based on the rating, which actually means that if Malmö is going to score 13 points or more, that will improve their chances of getting into the top 16 significantly, while if the point difference is going to be any less than that, as a 2.6 points, it's actually going to hurt Tartu's chances of staying in that top 12 where they are right now. Oh, that will definitely hurt Malmö a little bit, that turnover. That will give a very short field to Tartu. Thea Jobs, that was a little bit too hard for her, but that is perfect for Thea in the end zone from her teammate Lember. We are now level 2-2. Nice pick up, throw, and score. Looked very easy from Tartu. And Terra, of course, one of the standout players on that Tartu squad. She has been playing for many, many years, and she's definitely one of the key players on that Tartu squad, just like Jakob Tam. And I'm sure that. Oh, I'm surprised. I don't see Marin Raba's name on that roster of Tartu. She's definitely an upcoming player, still very young. Played U20 this season, the World Championships in England. Yeah. While yes, definitely some very familiar names of playing lots of indoor in the Baltics, Clara Leeds, Daniel Dada, Ingmar Norman. But this is now with Malmö. Fortunately, not many options for the handlers there. Needs to move backwards. So Hellstrom is now trying to squeeze it to her teammate, but the defensive presence was very well known, and the defensive pressure generated a turnover for Tartu. Tartu's going to pick up basically on the doorstep, just need to push it in, and they do. They do that very effectively. Number 10 with that score. Fortunately, I don't have her on my roster, but if I'm not mistaken, that is Turbulence. I will need to confirm that, but I do think that it is Crystal Lens. Unfortunately, some of the numbers are not matching the roster, and I think if you have tuned in earlier, Tam there actually came over to the commentators and to the scorekeepers and said that some of the numbers are actually incorrect. So yeah, we're not gonna get numbers because one of the numbers is not entirely correct on that roster. Regardless, Tartu is going to get their third point, and they are going to start their offense. I'm not entirely sure who actually started. Oh no, okay, I do know now. So Malmö started on offense, and that is the first break of the game. The rest of the game were clean, not clean, but all of the games were holds. All of the points, excuse me, were holds. So that is the first break of the game. So Tartu is scoring that first break. Apologies for the scoreboard on the screen. Malmö starting their offense pretty well, working half of the field already. Very effective passes. It looks a little bit different from Malmö, a lot more calm and collected, where maybe the defensive pressure is not as well known. And this disc looked almost catchy, but all good for the receiver there. Nice inside flick. And oh, an unfortunate drop there by Adven. His hands closed a little bit too late on that disc, and that will give Tartu another opportunity for a break. That was the disc. Thanks for teammates on the other side. And woo, that was low, but well kept there by, I'm quite sure that that was Lind, but I might need confirmation. And unfortunately, that was a little bit too far for number 15. No, near the sideline. Malmö, we're going to get another opportunity. on that offense, on that hold. So far, so good. Working it around the handlers. Not so many advancing passes to the cutters. There's one. Oh, great bit, but unfortunately, that was knocked off the hand of the receiver. That was the disc. Gonna pick up, gonna swing that. Much calmer, I just wanted to say, while the handler is throwing the disc into the ground. And yeah, multiple turnovers in that point. And Malmö, once again, is going to pick up. I'm going to try to find something more effective. And that was a little too high. I think he jumped a little too early, Carbon, and he knew about that. He knew that. So once again, Tartu, short field. They have been punishing that quite effectively before. Allowed it once again with the disc. He picked the disc up in that counter attack. Looking for options. Finds Punab, and Punab is going to throw it to no for the score. No, sorry, that was Ilves for the score. A much bigger gap right now. So Tartu are opening the gap for sure. So they are 2 breaks up. The score is now 4-2. Apologies for the scoreboard. It is not entirely correct, but that's all good. That happens. We're going to fix that. Thank you very much. And welcome back, everyone. Thank you for that short break. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Malmö who called the timeout. I think after 2 breaks, that's one of the things that you need to do to just make sure that you're staying calm and collected and getting ready for that next point and trying to get a couple of breaks back, which could be quite difficult. However, I'm sure both of the teams are good for that. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting matchup. Nordic matchup if you want, so a team from Sweden and a team from Estonia. Huge pull by Jakob Tam. And a perfect pull right in the back of the end zone. So Malmö might have some difficulties of getting out of their end zone. So Callahan territory, so to say. Yeah, and that presser from Tartu, wow, look at that. That is very difficult to get out of. Whoa, right in the back of that end zone. Not often you see that, and all thanks to that great pull by Tam in the beginning of this point. Malmö are still in their own end zone now, finally getting out, but that disc is taken away by Tara, who adjusted and actually went in front of the offensive player there of number 17 on Malmö squad, Renström. And Tara managed to get that disc away, and once again, Tartu with a very short field looking at the third break in a row. And that is a nice arcing pass, but unfortunately that was a little bit to no one from Lemberg. Malmö now on the end zone line, a little bit safer territory, not as much pressure applied to them, it looks like. Moving that disc around backwards, and that had a little bit too much angle on the disc, and that disc fortunately dropped right in front of Edwin. An easy score for Tam for Tartu Turbulence. They are now in the commanding lead of that game. This is now third break in a row for Tartu. And that is what the algorithm has, the almighty algorithm has predicted. So that the Tartu is going to win by 2.6 points. Yes, don't ask me why it's 2.6 and not 3. It is what it is. But still, they are now, Tartu now have 3-point leads, and if they maintain it, then I guess the algorithm is doing a pretty good job of understanding how these players or the strengths of these teams, I would rather say. Quite an interesting, of course, situation this year where we have this ranking system for the first year. It's been quite difficult at times to understand it, but I think by the end of the season, everyone is more or less understanding how it works. Basically, every game counts, even if it is against the opponent who you never played. It still can predict how well will you play against a certain opponent, depending on how did they play maybe some of the common opponents or how strong some of the opponents and some of the teams are. All quite interesting, all quite exciting, and all, of course, makes us scratch our heads sometimes looking at the complicated math, but very cool thing to have for this year. And unfortunately, we have a bit of a freeze and some technical difficulties, and looks like, judging by the celebration, Malmö has just scored their first hold after 4 points by Tartu. So good to get it back. Oh my God, that disc was tipped. Whoa, exciting stuff. Very, very cool. But it is still a point. Looks like Renström is gonna get that assist. Um, map line assist, if I could say that, to her teammate Otto Edgren. And the disc initially was thrown by Ebbe Algren, number 23 on the Malmö squad. So we are now 5-3, so 2-point difference. And looks like it's going to be a female matching point. As you can see, the female matching player there was the disc getting ready to pull. Great to see that for a few years now we are using the gender pull. Great addition to the rules in the recent years. Tam there stopping the disc, and Linz is going to pick that up. I'm going to move it to Terra, and Terra is going to push it to Linz. Wins to Tam, and Tam to the ground, unfortunately. Yeah, he has his hands in, has his face in his hands. That was a very, very unfortunate throwaway. Tedder was not able to handle that disc, very unfortunately for him. So that means Malmö are now looking at their first possible break. Or not possible break for sure, not the first one. But they would want a break back, that is for sure. Being 3 breaks back, not a pleasant situation for them. But it looks like Tartu's defense are doing their job and pushing the players, pushing Malmö all the way to the end zone. But now an advancing pass and another one, and that was a little bit too far for Havarinsa. Very difficult disc there for him to handle. And it's going to be brought back by Tartu once again. I think Lintz is going to pick that up. Definitely a veteran player for Tartu squad. Very, very experienced player. Low disc, but well handled by the player who unfortunately I don't have on the roster. I need to give a shout out, but Tara with the disc, moves it back. Pretty sure that might be Clara. Yeah, that's definitely Leet. Quite sure about that. Tara surveying her options and unfortunately throwing to the defense on Malmö. Number 78, Chase Cannon with the defense. Now moving the disc around, and unfortunately that disc hits the ground, gives a very short field to Tartu once again. Tam with the disc, moves it back to Palo to Tedder, and Tedder with a hammer to Tam. Nice throw. Tartu using their indoor experience to throw some of the hammers into the end zone. And yeah, that push pass looked a little bit wonky. Regardless, that was a beautiful point and a really nice counter offensive. Well, a hold. And it looks like we might have another timeout on the field. So I will leave you with some messages or not. No, that does not look like a timeout. I think it's just different zoom in onto the disc. Male matching point, most probably the first one. Lauritz getting ready to pull. Let's see if that pull is just as effective as the previous one. Nope, fielded quite successfully by Malmö, who are running rather quickly with that offense. Bit of a bump on the mark and a long shot. Let's see. Ooh, a foul is called. My opinion, Tartu player. Lauritz had position and did not initiate any contact. That is only my perspective, but the players, of course, can't discuss that by themselves. And Alström is calling that foul there, which, in my perspective, not so much ground under that call. But of course, players on the field decide by themselves. There are no game advisors, there are no game observers, only the ones that are sitting with the microphone and watching exciting games of Ultimate. Retracted call, turnover stands. good spirit by Elstrom, listening to some of the perspective of the players, and very good spirit. Great to see that. Sometimes you're not sure if there was a contact, if the contact maybe affected your opportunity to catch that disc, but it's always nice to see the nice and respectful discussion on the field, and a good resolution as well. Long shot this time by Tartu, and another defense by the Swedes, Carbon there, with a great celebration of the defense and good defensive pressure. Also very clean, very nice to see that. Loud, it's yeah, going to the other side of the field. Um, After that defense in zone and zone, going to the opponent's end zone, but under pressure from Carbon and Malmö get that disc back once again. Are we going to see a long sun? Still count is rising. Might be the case. Ooh, great grab by Edgren, and looks like a stoppage on the field. A foul accepted. Edgren stays with the disc. Finds the handler. Gets the disc again and past the hitting Alstrom, and the disc hits the ground, giving Tartu another opportunity for a break. Disc is near that sideline, getting really close into the red zone now. Tartu are looking at another break, not quite in yet, but that is not going to be in, and that is a very nice point, very nice combination there by all the way to now. Number 12, unfortunately, I don't have him on the roster. That almost looked like a travel, but no change of direction, only two ground contacts. So in my book, that is not a travel. Very nice. Look great. 7-3. I assume we are in the halftime situation. Oh, no, apologies. No, it's a game to 15, so half at 8. My bad. Excuse me.
Yes, he will. The lovely did.
After these messages from our sponsors, we see another great pull by Jakob Tam, and that disc stays once again in that end zone under lots of pressure once again by Tartu, who are just getting out of their end zone after 4 passes. Very difficult situation to find themselves in, and a long shot goes up for Malmö, and that is fielded by Tam. Tam fighting Vesca. And another save by Tam there. Of course, he's a very tall player, so finds himself getting out the discs, which are might be unreachable for some of the players. And that swing, ooh, good swing to Ilves. Ilves to Tera, and another handler on the sideline. and into the hands of Malmö player. So defense for Malmö, they get the disc back for another possible hold. It looks like Tartu are getting the disc back on the defense relatively easily. However, it is not very easy for them to punch it in on the counter attack. And it looks like there's going to be a timeout on the field. So I'm going to leave you with a few messages and we will be back in a couple of minutes. As teams are getting ready to put that disc back into play. Malmö looks to be setting up a traditional 5-2 vertical stack offense. And person-to-person defense by Tartu. Nice swing to the far sideline, but has to go back. And that might be, ooh, great grab there by Malmö player by Algren. Swing to Elstrom and another swing. Yeah, a very difficult movement by the disc for Malmö. Looks like that defensive pressure by Tartu working well for them. Taking the long shots, and Alstrom is shooting long, and oh, yeah, it was very possible for Westling to handle, but that disc fell very quickly. Good shot though. I like that option. Yeah, lead there was also applying pressure on the player, and Sam picking up. Swings to lead. Long shot. And Terra is going to run the disc down from EUCS. And once again, another break for Tartu, and this time it's going to be halftime. 8-3, so Tartu are leading by a huge amount of points there. Looks like there's going to be no real break, as you can hear there, but we're probably going to leave you with a message or two as teams are figuring out which side they're going to start and who's going to play on offense and who's going to play on the defense on the second half. See you in a couple minutes. It looks like the teams are so used to having a break during halftime and not just playing mirror that um, apparently Malmö are actually deciding to huddle while Tartu are ready to play. So it's more of a beach rules halftime where you just switch the sides, go to the correct side, uh, get the disc, and start playing without a real break. As the games are a little bit shorter than usual, the normal playing time, well, with diff regulation, of course, is 100 minutes, but we are playing 70-minute game, if the memory serves me right. But it's still a game to 15, halftime at 8, but with no real break at the halftime. Just pick up the disc and you just keep playing. Malmö was the pull. That was a little bit offsidey, but regardless, it's a good pull. Lintz is the disc, moving it around with her teammates. And Tam getting the disc, shooting long to Tara. Yeah, these two players have chemistry, they know each other really well. Tam, again Tara, Tam, and into the end zone for a nice quick hold. Good to see that Tartu are now getting these holds pretty well, and yeah, looks like it's a little bit better for them. Much better movement. Unfortunately, I cannot shout out number 24 on Tartu's side. Oh no, I can. Lember was the score. So 9-3, looks like Tartu are running away with this game and actually doing a lot better than the almighty algorithm and the almighty ranking system has predicted. But of course, the game is not over. There's still plenty of time to play for the players. We still have approximately 20 minutes of game time. And Andra is getting ready to pull. It is the second female matching point on the field. So it's majority female matching players. As you can see, there are 4 female matching players on the field and 3 male matching players. And in the next point, it's going to flip. We're going to have 4 male matching players and 3 female matching players. This disc is going out of bounds and hitting the ground there. So Malmö player is going to pick that disc up and get to the brick mark, which is going to be approximately 18 meters away from the end zone in the middle of the field. Play starts. Oh, run through block there by, I think that was the killer actually. Andre. Now the disc is moving pretty effectively, and yeah, once again, Tartu is that short field working pretty effectively there. Lauritz. Ooh, that disc was almost dropped, but no, well handled by Lepic. Lauritz close to the end zone now, very close on goal. No, an unfortunate drop there by number 17, Vivian Andre. Sadly, that will give the disc back to Malmö. Of course, Malmö is going to be happy about that. Handlers activating a long shot there from number 20. Unfortunately, I don't have her on my roster. It is so sad when the teams are not getting their numbers correctly and their roster right. And ooh, well handled Nina Westling for that score in the end zone. Really well done. Difficult disc, but really, really well adjusted. It was sailing above her. She realized that it's going the other way and managed to bid for the disc and get the score for herself. So Alström to Westling for a first break of Malmö. So that was actually a break because they started. Oh no, 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 no! Apologies. No, that was a hold. Not a clean hold, a dirty hold, but a hold nonetheless. As of course Andre pulled the previous point. 4-9 doesn't sound too bad, but yeah, 5 points is not an easy gap, sorry, to close up. So we'll see if Malmö gonna find another gear and gonna be able to get a few breaks back. Always exciting to see a close game. Malmö with a pull, first male matching point. Lintz fielding it and moving it. Unfortunately, looks like that throw was virtually to no one. And that gives an opportunity for Malmö for their first break. Drops with the disc, swings that, nice inside flick. Oof. Great fakes. Brennan into the end zone. Once again, an adjustment is made by the player, by number 28 there. But this time, unfortunately, she could not come down with that, and that gives the disc back to Tartu, who's going to start their offense once again. Ooh, very difficult adjustment. Very, very difficult adjustment by Tram Andang. And another turnover by Tartu. Oh, another opportunity for a break for Malmö. Can they come to win? Looks like a foul was called. And there was no real stoppage, a bit of a violation. So, yeah, foul on a mark, looks like, between Drennan and Bella. This was checked back in. And that was tipped by Tom. I thought he was going to catch it, but yeah, that disc was definitely too short. And a long throw goes in. Oh, too high, even for Tam. Looks like Tam did not expect it to go a lot longer. He thought that this disc was shorter, and yeah, it looks to be a game of turnovers, a point of turnovers. But let's see, Basket now is the disc, finds Tara. Tara surveying her options, gets to Tara, and Tara shooting long. No, that was not Tara. Tara is the one who's going to receive that over the two defenders. Tam with the disc, and to Tara for another score. Not a clean hold, but a hold nonetheless, that is for sure. They will take it. That was a difficult point for Tartu. We are 10-4 situation. 10-4, do you copy? Yeah, pretty good, pretty comfortable position for Tartu at the moment. Elsewhere on the pitches, have a look what's going on. We've got games all over Europe coming at you. We are streaming from Warsaw, which you're watching right now. Chambéry in France, Freiburg in Germany, Heilbronn in Germany, Leicester. I don't think that we are actually streaming from there, but there are games there, and another part of the summer tour happening there. Trnava, Malmö. No, Malmö and Birmingham have already happened, but the rest of the places, yes, we've got games for you all over the place. If you have your favorite nation, if you have your favorite team, And if they are playing a summer tour, there is a very good chance that you're going to see them this weekend. So lots of games happening right now. Very, very exciting to see that summer tour happening in so many locations around Europe. And yeah, let's get back to this game. Uh, Tartu, great goal by Lauritz, fielded by Malmö. Malmö starting to move at this ground, but under lots of pressure and can't really find anything. And past the two bidding defenders, that disc is hitting the ground eventually. And yeah, that gap might be a little bit too big to handle for Malmö because once again they are giving Tartu a very short field to work with. I'm sure there's going to be maybe 3, 4 passes. Andre looking for options. Oh, dicey reset. Regardless, that was well handled. Allowed it. Where's the disc? Pick was called. Hmm. Everybody should have stopped. That would be my suggestion, but I assume that Lauritz did not realize that the pick was being called on the field. I'd say that quite a few players stopped, but those who were running for the disc did not. So they will render that call and the outcome that has not affected the play. Looks like everybody on the field agreeing with that. So Malmö will have an opportunity for a disc, a bit of a travel where his pivot is set, but it's all right. Looks like it didn't really affect anything. Long shot by number 23. Sailing a little bit too long for Huntscombe. Philippa Huntscombe. Looks like too long for her. And Algren. So that was the one who threw that very long disc. Lauritz, once again, is going to pick up. And a turnover, wow, very short, giving very short goal to Malmö for their 5th point, possible 5th point, not quite yet. And that will be a 5th point for Malmö. Number 8 was the score there, celebrating his point, Otto Edgren. We have approximately 10 minutes of playtime left. Really, really quickly advancing, very quick passes, almost the indoor style, and long shot now to Leeds, who could not hold on to that disc. That was quite a lot of pressure from the defense, and she probably couldn't really see the angle of the disc and how high is it coming towards her, so she couldn't handle this disc easily, and that gives Malmö an opportunity for a break. They don't get that often. Lintz there almost snagging the disc away. And unfortunately, that disc is sailing into the ground, and yeah, a foul has been called. By Ramandan, and Judging by the hand signals, Leet is going to contest, while Tron would like to actually discuss that a little bit more and maybe convince her that there was in fact a foul. And which she successfully does actually. So Leet is accepting that foul in the end. So Andan is going to pick that disc up. And no, there was a stoppage, so it looks like a violation. Some players started moving before that disc was checked in. So everybody gonna go back, and we're gonna do that all again. Always nice to announce, of course, to the field when are you going to check that disc. It was like 3, 2, 1, disc is in, much easier. And Lentz this time taking the disc away. Very active mark by Havarinsab, and yeah, that worked, I guess. That defensive pressure on the mark worked pretty well. So much shorter field for um, for Malmö, and this time a very active mark by Paolo is going to work just as well for Tartu. So Lintz is going to pick up the disc. Oh no, apologies. That is definitely not Lintz. Tara now with the disc. And then Leeds. Just moving backwards, but Vesti is handling it well as it was right above her. Bello to Linz to Lambert. Lambert trying to find anything, can't really find anything, but finally finds Leeds and moves laterally. Linz and Linz are throwing. Whoa! Great shot there, but unfortunately there was a great shot for the defenders as well. Defenders managed to get up a lot earlier than Veske and Alo, who were also gunning for the disc on the Tarsu side. But yeah, defender was in a much better position, it looks like. So Malmö will pick the disc up once again. That is turning into a marathon point. Are we going to see a timeout? Or not just yet? Not just yet. Brannan with the disc in his own end zone. Was it laterally? Can't really get out of the end zone. Now finally out of the end zone. And some advancing passes are following. Mashek trying to find some options. Finally finds one. And the long shot follows. And Tam, definitely the taller figure of these four players that you see on your screen, coming up with that disc, and an unfortunate drop by Pello keeps the disc to Malmö once again, who are now almost on the doorstep, but unfortunately throwing into the defense. So a marathon point for sure. Another long pass, this time Tera quite easily handles that disc. Cam and Tera give and go, and a bit of a miscommunication between them. Not often we see that. Maybe they were overly hopeful on that. Malmö once again picking up the disc. Marked by Lintz. Swing to Drennan. Middle of his own end zone. Another lateral swing to the handler. Can't really get out of the end zone now. Finally out of the end zone. Took them a few passes to do that. Goal stunt. Oh, ooh, whoa, that was a pickup by Havarinas up, and this disc is defended, but there might be a discussion. Oh, yeah, I'm not entirely sure about that. Might be. Yeah, great save by Havarinas up, and number 24 on Tartu's side is always aware of what's going on, so Lambert still chased the disc and generated a defense for Tartu. Lambert gonna pick the disc up and a timeout is going to be called. As it is a marathon point, it is a very good call. I'm going to take a break and we will be back after these messages. As we hear that, right, yes, very good to hear that confirmation on the screen, of course, and on the field itself, as Tam was discussing with the timekeepers of what the actual rule is. And yes, we are playing the soft cap rule, so we are going to finish this point as the time was over, and we're going to add to the highest score. So it's going to be either the game to 11 or the game to 12 or a game to 12, depending on who is going to score this particular point. As the time was over before this point was over. That this stays in, but it's not in the end zone. So Malmö actually managed to get a turnover out of that. So instead of a timeout, Tartu got a bit of a situation of a time over, or oh, interesting, very interesting. Sorry, I was just looking at what's going on the field, and looks like the disc is going to be sent back as a foul has been called. Oh no, looks like in or out is being called. Some players are offering their perspective on the field. Malmö on Malmö's side, and Traumandang is claiming that she was in, and looks like Lynx, with not the happiest body language, is going to accept that. So Malmö is going to get another point on the board, and we are going to play not a game to 12, but a game to 11. this time. So as the score is 5-10 when the time was over. Um,
Are you sure? You can?
Yes, you can.
Right, and some more clarification. Always interesting to hear that on the field, that yes, you can in fact take a timeout when the time is over, and looks like we do have a timeout on the field, called by Malmö. We're going to get another quick break. I'm going to get myself a bit more coffee, and I'll leave you with these messages. Only 1 month. Well, 1 month and 10 days before the finals. And this is what we are getting ready for here as well at the summer tour to figure out who is going to go for Canada and Belgium in the finals and who is not. Looks like Tartu, with this 4-point leads, are sealing the deal pretty well for themselves. Of course, it all depends on the wild cards and all the other crazy things. But yeah, let's see what is potentially the last point. And a great give and go by Tara and Tam. This time working well. And ooh, yeah, this time working well and no mistakes over there for the final score. So Tara and Tam basically walking half of the field. You can see that great chemistry between the players for 11-6 game. So the almighty algorithm predicted it's going to be 15 to 12.4. We got a slightly smaller scoreboard, but the difference is still 5 points. So the algorithm was actually wrong, which is always interesting to see when the algorithms are being mistaken. I'm going to leave you here. Thank you very much for listening. I've been Dmitry Doroshenko. Apologies for some of the technical problems in the beginning of the game, but we finally figured it out who is playing and some of the technical snacks. Thank you all for listening. Pleasure to be here. I'm going to be in Trnava commentating the Trnava games later today, and next on this particular stream, if nothing has changed, we most probably is going to have Mosquitoes and Skyleys in Warsaw. So the home team is going to take on the field. I don't think it's going to be commentated though, but if you want to watch that without commentary, you are absolutely welcome to do so. Thank you very much for listening. Great to have you here. Take care and see you on the other side.